Questions about a topic that people have complained about for years, the City of Buffalo Animal Shelter.
Well, we know that a lot of families have happily adopted pets from the shelter, but almost everyone acknowledges that it has been plagued with problems, especially because of a lack of space and proper facilities.
Channel 2's Michael Wooten has been investigating the shelter for weeks and tells us about immediate and long-term plans to make improvements.
Pets that are surrendered, captured, or seized can end up in a lot of places.
All right.
Perhaps the brand new state-of-the-art SPCA serving Erie County, what one animal lover described to me as the Taj Mahal shelter. It's 52,000 square feet of pet paradise. Or that animal may end up here, the Buffalo City Shelter, an old, cramped space that Public Works Commissioner Steve Stepniak admits needs a lot of repairs.
There is a real concern that we have with the shelter and running the shelter.
As we reported last week, the city solicited bids for a $1 million renovation. But besides improvements for the kennels, most of the money will go to infrastructure, like a new roof and HVAC system. It will not do much to alleviate one of the biggest problems, a lack of space, a problem we've highlighted for years.
We have actually no kennel space at all with dogs. We have tons of dogs in foster, we have tons of cats in foster, so our kennel space is full.
For weeks, Two on Your Side has talked off camera with more than a half dozen people closely associated with this shelter. They paint a picture of a facility simply not equipped to be in the adoption business. In addition to space constraints, the dishwasher has been broken for more than a year. Customers have complained about cleanliness. While many of the workers have great reputations with the dogs and cats, some are Public Works employees placed at the shelter and don't even like animals. The wait to get some pets even available for adoption can take weeks due to vet availability. Critics say the shelter isn't customer friendly. For instance, it doesn't take credit cards. It can't offer any specials or discounts, although a nonprofit does cover some costs. And look at the city website. Not a single picture posted of the animals up for adoption. Compare that to the City Animal Shelter in nearby Rochester. It has more spacious kennels, more employees, and a better reputation. Its website has descriptions and multiple pictures, even videos of the adoptable pets, and of course, it takes credit cards. It's run by a city agency called Rochester Animal Services, whereas in Buffalo, the animal shelter is part of the Public Works Department, which is also responsible for snow removal, trash pickup, and street paving. Many question the setup here. Why not find someone else to run the shelter?
Well, you know what, being out of business totally would kind of be hard for us because we actually have our animal control officers that bring the animals there. So I don't think the separation completely would be something to do. I think maybe looking at a partnership going forward, and that's what we've been talking about with the groups that we've been meeting with, would be a great idea.
The SPCA says over the past year, it accepted and placed about 100 dogs from Buffalo, but absorbing the city shelter is not something being considered at this time. The work of animal control is very different from that of a humane society. There's long been talk about someone else running the city shelter, like in this Buffalo News article from 2002. 15 years ago. Back then, a volunteer said of the shelter, it has been a neglected agency for decades. Is there a long-term plan to kind of improve the shelter overall, how friendly it is to the public and how it cares for the animals?
Right, that's why as part of our Public Works campus, we made that a big component of ours, build a state-of-the-art facility that has that ample space. So it is definitely within our planning.
That new $30 million Public Works campus would include a brand new city shelter. But the focus for now remains on the Oak Street building because funding isn't even secured yet for the longer-term project.
We're looking at a few years down the road. That's why these improvements to the animal shelter needed to happen now.
This is kind of a temporary fix while you look for that longer-term solution.
Absolutely. You know, it's a temporary fix, but it's a good fix. It's a fix that we get a lot of information on what we should do to actually make it better, and we'll implement those now.
Stepniak says another long-term goal is to develop more partnerships with nonprofit organizations, even local schools. The city seems to acknowledge there are problems here at the city shelter. They've existed for a long time. The hope for many is that they can finally be addressed. Reporting in downtown Buffalo, Michael Wooten, Channel 2 News.
Michael, thank you. Well, two teens will each spend 7 years behind bars.